truly feel. Maria?
Oh, God, just terrible. Jeff, thank you. We are following these senseless tragedies, and now for more, I want to bring in House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Congressman, thanks very much for joining us this morning.
I wish we were joining you on a different circumstances. This nation mourns for just a very sad, sad day. No one in this country should fear going shopping or out on a Saturday night. These monsters that did this based upon evil. We need to get the facts, but we need to make sure we do not allow this ever to happen again.
Yeah, I mean, we are waiting on the facts, and of course we're waiting on any motive or information of what was behind these tragedies. What do you want to say in terms of to the public, in terms of coming together, in terms of hoping that, you know, this doesn't happen again? Is this a mental issue? Is it something else? What can you say?
Well, whatever their intentions were, we know it was based on hate and evil. The planning of what took place, the actions of where they went. I mean, I know today is a day that millions of Americans will go out to their place of worship, that we will lift up those families who are mourning, we'll lift up their losses. We will thank the first responders when we look at their ability to respond. In Dayton, Ohio, in less than 1 minute, they were there with an individual that had his own armor on and others. I think it is responsible that we allow those law enforcement to do their job. But when the job is done, we should come together as one and find areas and ways that we can make sure that this does not happen again. But this is a sad day for this nation, and I know all will mourn together, but we will find how we solve this problem once we get all the information.
You know, we heard from the deputy governor of Texas earlier, and he was talking, it was a very impassioned conversation, really, and he was talking about the tone that the public uses on social media. He was talking about video games, all of these things that could have triggered, certainly the video game situation, he was saying, may have triggered the shooter there in El Paso. But what are your thoughts on that in terms of understanding that words matter, and that when we're talking to each other on social media or looking at video games where they're using, you know, videos of characters with these weapons, is there a conversation to be had about that, about the tone that this country is using? It's become commonplace to say whatever you want to anybody on social media.
I think we should, and you want to see from these individuals what they wrote in others, but I mean, this may be a place that we could find this ahead of time. There may be a place of what's being written can be changed, could be an indication that an individual needs help in others that we can stop. But the idea of these video games to dehumanize individuals, to have a game of shooting individuals and others, I've always felt that is a problem for future generations and others. We've watched from studies shown before of what it does to individuals. When you look at these photos of how it took place, you can see the actions within video games and others. But what I'd like to do is make sure just get all the facts where there are indications. And there's times before that we have found this, and there's times before that we've proven we could come together. Just in the last Congress, when we found that there was a shooting in Texas, that an individual should not have been able to have that weapon because he was dishonorably discharged, because there was abuse within inside that he did within his own family. But we found that the NIC, the National Instant Criminal Background Check, we came together to make sure that it was our own military that was not putting that forward, giving the information at the time, that could have been stopped, that weapon would have not have been in that individual's hands. But we did come together. And in reforming the NIC is that we were able to move and actually help states at the same time. Or the bunt stock that was actually put forward in a prior administration, we were able to change.
Which brings up the issue of getting the right balance of gun safety. Gun rights, but also gun safety. I mean, you know, we hear this conversation about gun control. You don't want to take it to a political place, but there is a conversation to have about gun rights versus gun safety.
Those are discussions to have when you have a gun safety, but there's also a discussion to have and analyze the laws that are on the books today. When someone goes through on the NIC and they found out that they're trying to purchase a weapon they're not able to do, the latest stat I saw that only 8% of those individuals something is done about that. I mean, those are early indications. And when you look in this past, from these very sad situations, horrific, that the FBI was warned not once but twice, called and told about the mental capacity of this individual, how they were treating animals, what they were thinking, and the name was given. We should never speak of the names of these monsters that do these terrible, heinous actions, because I think that's part of what they want, and part can become into social media. Because of what they do prior. But could we find that? We found that in Florida, that the FBI was warned twice at 2 different times, months apart. And that could have been stopped. So are there places today that we do have an action that we can stop this, that is not being moved forward? And that is why the law enforcement should be able to do their job, find the information, and at that moment in time, we should come together as one and work through this.
Congressman, stay with us. We want to talk with you more.